All right, now welcome back. We are continuing our on-call section, and I am joined by my Loveline co-host from radio, Simone Bienne, and we've got a crazy story to talk to you about to start off. This is a Megadeth Motorhead concert fan who had sex in a bathroom and got pregnant, and now looks for the dad on Craigslist. That's just wild. Courtney on Facebook has this to say: I hope the best for her and her child. Just because she is unorthodox doesn't mean she can't be a wonderful mother. Simone, how do we make sense of a young lady that walks into a stall, has sex with a random person with a mohawk, and gets pregnant?
Well, this is not pretty or usual normal behaviour.
Women are like that?
No, look, there's all for having that in our fantasy. There's all for kissing a guy or making out with a guy at a bar. But come on, ladies, in the stall and then getting pregnant. What are you doing?
Well, but just don't face it. I mean, she's sort of stepped up her, shall we call it, class by looking for dad on Craigslist. I
think that's quite good, because then at least you get some help with the care of the baby.
I'll have to talk to you about Craigslist later, Simone. I just got to...
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, good. But let's, all seriousness, kidding aside, that is drug addiction or sex addiction, guys. Those are the only people I know that behave like that. It's when the people are loaded, they do wild stuff. People that are sex addicted have random sex with people they don't know. And if you don't believe sex addiction is a real thing, you've never seen it. People have severe consequences. They're miserable from it. If you want to read about it, Patrick Carnes has written several books about this issue, and I know we deal with love and sex addiction all the time.
And what concerns me about this particular case is that actually it doesn't seem as if she's sort of in touch with her shame, because she's acting out even more by going on Craigslist.
Great point. Now, speaking of love and sex addiction, the viewers have been sounding off on the story of Jordan Powers, the teen girl who moved in with her 41-year-old teacher, who's a pedophile, who's been arrested for a pedophile, John Hooker. Kelly, you're on the line on this story, and you're in Texas. What's on your mind?
Yes, I'm outraged about this story, Drew. It's ridiculous. This is a young girl, and this is a dirty old man.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
This is nothing. This is a story as old as the hills. Dirty old men are everywhere. You're supposed to, as a parent, teach your daughter.
But Kelly, let me just stop you real quick. And when you blame Tammy Powers, who seemed like a lovely lady, you create another victim though. Let's support Tammy to help her daughter. You know what I mean? Are you? Hey, Kelly, are you a parent?
I am.
Okay.
And I've been that girl.
Oh.
And people blame the girl.
Okay, hold on.
They tell you, oh, he can't love you, and so then the girl thinks, well, why can't he love me? Are you saying there's something wrong with me? He says I'm perfect.
I think what really concerns me about this is the imbalance of power, because this person is holding the power, and that girl is now setting up her sexual script and her romantic script for the rest of her life, and there is no way that this won't have a deep psychological impact on her.
And Kelly, just a brief note with you. How did you work through that? What can we learn from this?
You know, honestly, I got pregnant at a young age, and I started through looking at my girls and thinking of them as me and wanting to protect that little girl.
Okay.
And so I started protecting me and taking better care of me.
That perfect move, because your ability to be an attached parent, a present parent is critical, but relationship with dad. I mean, you got to make sure they have a relationship with their dads, because when I hear stories like what we're talking about, that's at the core of it almost always.
Absolutely, and the father has a responsibility to make sure that the daughters feel sexual. Now, when I say this, feel loved, but also by saying, oh, you're going to make some man very proud when you be his wife. That is completing their sexuality, and that's also very, very important.
So you're going to make somebody very happy.
Yeah, and when they do that, then it's actually, you're less likely to act out.
Interesting. Okay, I've got Jason calling from Nova Scotia, Canada. You got a question, Jason?
Hi, Dr. Drew. How are you?
I'm good, Jason. What's going on there?
Pleasure talking with you.
Pleasure's ours.
Yes, I got two questions.
All right.
What made Jordan go back with him?
Yeah.
And do you think they should raise the legal age to 21 or maybe 25 so this could help prevent
yeah, the age of consent, that's a dicey issue. I certainly, one thing we all know for sure, 16 and under, they're not ready to render consent. So states that have 14 and 15, I think, are way out of line. 18, the frontal lobes are developing to the point that they can make some executive decision. I don't have a strong opinion about that, but let's talk about why she went back, Jason. I wouldn't mind raising it to 21. But the problem then, though, is that we'd have a lot of young men being charged who are actually in consenting, you know, I mean, it would be a mess. But because it's almost become normative for couples that age to be sexual, and if the parents didn't like it, they could charge the young man with sexual misconduct. So
I personally think 21 is too high.
Okay, fair enough.
Between 16 and 18, but again, it comes down to the parents.
Okay. Now, why'd she go back to him? How do we help people understand that?
See, look, the pull, she is getting something. There's always a fit, and I really like your point, Dr. True, when you were saying let's not victimize people. There will be a fit. He clearly comes from some kind of dysfunctional background.
Well, he was probably sexually abused as a kid himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why does she go there? Because it's safe. This is what she's used to. We don't know her background, her history, but there will be a fit that makes this a usual relationship for her, and she clearly needs something from him.
So that needs to be broken through professional intervention, really, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. You know, I think I want to jump to Amy. Amy in Bellevue, Ohio. Are you available there, Amy? We're going to shift.
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. You were shifting gears a little bit on this topic. What's your question there, Amy?
I'm a 45-year-old self-employed single mother of 4 boys. I choose to stay home so I can be around for my kids, and I work from home and do both the jobs of the mother and the father.
Amy, let me just turn over all my cards and say thank you. And I'm so grateful for the moms that are able to stay at home and do that. And I know I have triplets. I know how incredibly difficult the job is. In fact, you make a point that most women are actually happier when they work and parent.
Yeah, and studies have shown this, and even in my clinical practice when I've been working with couples, there is more pressure with the stay-at-home mum on the couple relationship because it is so demanding. And any politician watching, can I just say,
please,
they are not in office for 18 years. They are out having their swanky lunches. They do not know what it is like to have a full-time job 24/7.
Being a parent.
Being a parent and being a stay-at-home mum or a stay-at-home dad, you would get paid at least $50,000 for all the work that you do as a bookkeeper, as a nanny, as a teacher, on 24/7.
You go, Simone, you go. Come on now.
So, no
wonder my wife and Simone are good buddies. That's all right, listen, I've got it. Thank you. I have a bunch of questions for you, but I'm running out of time. So, well said, Simone. I'm going to shift gears and a little bit in our country's, something called our country's votes in HLN election year coverage. Last week, Democratic strategist Hillary Rosen set off a political firestorm when she said Mitt Romney's wife and, quote, has, quote, never had worked a day in her life. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home moms are furious everywhere. There's all this tension between and amongst women. I work full-time, I work part-time, I don't. Women beat each other up about this, so I'm sure women got into this topic as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, yeah, and listen, ladies, bottom line here, stop beating each other up. If so, it is, you've heard, it's a hard, stressful job to be stay-at-home. It's a hard, stressful job to do. You guys are always trying to do everything. Please be good to yourself. Yeah, you take so much on. I just want to say, listen, anything more you want to ask about love, sex, relationship, we're going to keep taking calls with Simone. Don't go away.
Our Country Votes 2012 is sponsored by Norfolk Southern. One line, infinite possibilities.